Hey everyone, Matt here on another edition of Ask Ron. Ron, how's your day going?
Good so far.
Nice. That's what I like to hear. All right, we have 6 questions for the day, so let's go ahead and jump right into them. The first one is from Simon, who is up in Virginia.
Okay.
Simon says, are there any benefits to redeeding a property?
Redeeming a property. Well,
Re
Simon, you're going to have to tell me what the heck that means first. I don't know what you mean. I know there are some states where you can redeem the property after the foreclosure.
Oh, redeed.
Oh, redeed?
Redeed.
Redeed.
Yep.
Okay, great. What does that mean? No idea, Simon. You're going to have to rephrase that question. And that's frankly a good lesson to all of you watching. Please make sure the person that's supposed to answer the question can have any idea what the question means. Redeed, I've never even heard that word before. I don't even know what you're talking about. Redeed from whom to whom for what? All right, so give me a clue. Next question.
This one might not be any better. He goes, can an apartment be redeeded and then turned into a lease to own for each unit?
Probably not, because you probably can't transfer title to the new buyer because you don't have a legal description on each apartment. Now, if you did, that's called a conversion. And there are apartments that have been converted to condos, and they can deed those, yes. Kind of like townhouses. You've probably got 4 of them side by side sharing the wall, but each of those has its own legal description. So it depends on whether that apartment project has been condoized yet or not. It's a legal process. It's pretty expensive. It's going to require a survey to create the legal descriptions, and then it's going to require approval from the city to grant them. So of course you want to check that before you go spend any money at all. But I doubt you're going to want to do it because it's not going to make sense to you. Can't option a property you can't deliver title to.
All right, there you go, Simon. Moving on to the next question, we have Devon up in Illinois. Devon says, I have a seller that has agreed to sell the property on a 3-year term in the state of Ohio. Here are the details. The agreed upon selling price is $370,000. Nearby comps are $415,000. The down payment will be $15,000. The balloon payment is 3 years. The monthly payment PITA is $2,500. And the interest rate is 3%.
It's too high. It's too high. Why is the payment $2,500 on a loan of $260,000? Way too high. Something's wrong there. Don't know where that payment came from. And I believe I heard you say it's principal and interest, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's a deal killer. You cannot do that deal. Now add taxes and insurance on top of that $2,500. You'll never get that out of the marketplace on a monthly basis. You'll have an extreme negative cash flow. So you either got to fix that payment or you don't do this deal. And this is no great deal. $15,000 down, 3% is great, but I don't know. If I were you, I'd do the 3% interest only. So now you know what's 3 times 260? Now you're only owe $7,800 a year divided by 12 on a monthly payment. That makes a whole lot more sense. But you don't do that with a higher payment. You're certainly going to regret it. And by the way, don't you even think about personally guaranteeing that note. In Ohio, you're probably going to buy it on a land contract if the seller understands what that means, which means title stays with the seller, but ownership goes with you. They can get it back quicker on a land contract if you don't pay, but not at $2,500 a month. I mean, you could easily be shelling out $1,000 a month out of your pocket to cover that payment if you agree to that deal.
All right. There you go, Devin. Let's see. Here we go. Moving on to the last 3 questions. These are from Rojo, who's out in California. Rojo says, is there any benefit in having an out-of-state LLC owning the beneficial interest of a land trust?
Well, that's a big, long, wide question. I've certainly done a lot, including with me. Your LLC can be in any state and be the beneficial interest of a land trust in any state. But the benefit is strictly asset protection. It doesn't help you tax-wise in any way. And that's what I teach, actually. LLC owns the land trust, and then we have a discussion about who owns the LLC to create asset protection for you. But that's the only benefit that I can see. There is no tax benefit. But, you know, I first have to ask you, why do you want that to be the case?
Yeah.
That would require a discussion, because you're giving me just part of the facts.
All right, moving on to his next question. It's somewhat related. He says, do I need an LLC to deed or transfer my primary residence into a land trust via the grant deed to trustee?
Don't. Your LLC should have nothing to do with your residence. You don't want your LLC owning your residence. Okay, you might have a tax issue there you didn't think about. Your residence should be in a trust, and then how you own the trust is, again, another discussion. Listen, there is a lesson on the Go Club, and I believe Nick labeled it 4 LLCs. Go find that lesson and watch it, because it's going to open your mind on the entities you need and why you need them, and clear up a lot of things for you. You don't need to have an LLC involved to put your house into a land trust. Pure and simple. And then if I keep asking you guys to tell me what state you live in, because some states, if you're married, will honor tenants by the entirety, like Florida and many others. And if that is the case and you are married, then you want the land trust owned by you and your spouse, tenants by the entirety, 100% undivided. Because if it's undivided, a predator can't take the whole for the sins of one. So a judgment against one of you means they can't touch the assets if, in fact, your tenants by the entirety. It's 100%, not 50-50. If it's 50-50, it's not tenants by the entirety. It's got to be 100% undivided. So again, I don't have enough information to adequately answer that question, but I do know LLCs and your residence is like a positive and negative pole. Don't own your house in an LLC.
All right, so it's probably going to answer his next question too. His last question is, do I need an LLC first to deed the primary home into a land trust?
You just asked that.
Yeah.
LLC has nothing to do with a land trust.
Yeah. All right, Ron. That's all we have for today.
Was that 6 questions? That went by pretty quick.
Yeah, that was 6.
I probably should have talked more. Or not. All right. Okay, see you guys now. By the way, you should know now that Saturday I am leaving on a RV trip around the state of Florida with some friends in their RV. So maybe we can catch up on the road next week and do this. I think I can, but probably have to be from my iPad. So I don't think that matters. So anyway,
I think that'd be good. A little change of scenery.
You know how to reach me. We'll do it.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. See y'all.